I took an unnecessary turn, knowing full well that it wasn't the one that would take me to where I wanted to go. But I took it anyway. Have you ever found yourself on a detour of your own making? Well, today on Growing Hope, we're talking all about those self-imposed doubt detours and how to get around them moving forward.
It's time for Growing Hope, a show determined to grow up hearts open to pursue the extraordinary. Because you are extraordinary! And now, it's your host, Kathryn Lang.
Hello, and welcome to Growing Hope. I am Kathryn Lang, your resident Hope Smith, and I'm here to scatter a little hope and encouragement and hopefully some doubt-defeating wisdom. Because doubt will mislead you. Doubt will distract you. Doubt will send you down a detour and then make you doubt your truth and doubt the detour because you took the detour in the first place. I mean, it is a never-ending cycle. I started my blog. I started writing my blog shortly after I launched my full-time writing career. I was writing blogs for other websites, and I figure if I could create content for a car site, because if you know me, you know how truly epic that is, what a great accomplishment that was for me. Well, if I could do it for a car site, then I could create content for my own site. It dawned on me that there might be people out there that appreciated having all of that content I was creating in one kind of system. So, they didn't want to come every day and try to find my blog post. So I compiled all of my relevant content into a single download. It eventually became Practical Proverbs, but it started out as an ebook. That was my first ebook, and I was so excited about it. I sent out emails to everyone on my email, in my email. I got a letter or an email back that said, I did not ask for this. I did not ask to be on this email list, and I don't know how I got here. Take me off now. Maybe she didn't mean it to be quite in that tone, but trust me when I say it was in that tone. And it was the first response that I got after sharing what I thought was a wonderful idea, an epic opportunity. I was so excited until I read her response. And then I was sick. I kept expecting the email police to bust down the door and take me to email jail. And I wasn't going to get a hearing or a trial. And for years afterwards, I hesitated to send out an email to more than just one person. I mean, I would only send out direct emails. So you can imagine what an email service like MailChimp did to me. It gives me flashbacks every time I hit send. I'm just waiting for that email. I did not ask to be on this list. I'm sharing this because several years after I had this encounter, I released my first novel. And I didn't email a single person. I didn't email anybody on my list. Not the people that were actually my friends and not the people that had signed up for my email list. I just didn't understand how this whole email thing worked. I doubted my ability to use it correctly because of the person who had responded so aggressively against me. See, she and I had been emailing back and forth on a regular basis. It's not like I found her email address in the Walmart parking lot. So I just relied on word of mouth to sell my book. And that first novel sold over 21,000 copies. Yes, thank you, Inger, for reminding me of that. Now, granted, some of the times some of the sales were when I was offering a digital copy for 99 cents, but still, over 21,000 people purchased my book. But I took a detour in releasing it because I doubted the direction of my path. I doubted my ability to do it correctly. I doubted what I was capable of or what I understood. Have you ever taken an unnecessary detour? We took our family to a retreat at Camp McDowell in Alabama. It was my childhood summer camp. I went every single summer. I went for youth retreats at the camp. I knew it like the back of my hand. The people at the retreat with us hadn't attended camp like I had. So when we decided to take a hike to the cross, it was a very well-known hike. I didn't trust their directions over my experience. I didn't even bother asking them directions. I knew where I was going. We made the first turn, and we passed a ladder that went up a rock face. And I remember thinking, that ladder didn't used to be there, but I just dismissed it. I knew that maintenance put in different tools for them to be able to keep paths clear and whatnot. So we walked along the bottom of the cliff, between the cliff and the river, and enjoyed the plants and the critters and all of that we came across. And then we made the second turn, and I confess when we took that second turn, I started worrying that maybe I didn't know as much as I thought I did. I mean, it felt like, right? But the path wasn't as strong as it should have been. This is the number one hike that everybody takes when they come to camp. It shouldn't have been faded, even if it was off season. So when the path turned from a faded walking trail to an animal trail, I knew I'd missed something. We turned around and started back the way we had come, thinking maybe I took the wrong turn, when I noticed that the trail that we should have taken went up the hill, but it took us coming from this other angle to see it. There it is, I told him. So we all scurried up the mountain, hill, cliffside, whatever you want to call it. It wasn't nearly as easy as I remember it being, but I chalked that up to having a 4-year-old with us and a 6-year-old with us. I mean, we had to help them get up as well. When we got to the top, we had to push our way through the shrubs, and then there we were at the cross. We took pictures, we enjoyed our time, we sat down, had snacks, and then another group came the opposite direction. And I said, where'd y'all come from? Because I figured there was a new trail I didn't know about. Maybe they had taken a path that I was unfamiliar with. The camp butts up against the Bankhead National Forest, so there is a lot of trails. The girl with them went, "Oh, we came up the ladder." And that's when I realized that I had forced my family to take a detour because I doubted anyone else could know the path better than me. In the years since I had last attended camp, and it had been years, they'd put in a ladder to create a direct path to the cross. Go figure. A direct path to the cross. But because I was so focused on my way, I missed the direct path to the cross. But that's what doubt detours do. They force us to miss that direct path. The children of Israel watched God take down the ruling country of Egypt, first with the plagues, then with the plunder of the country, and finally with the destruction of the army. But when they got to his promised land, they doubted it. Nope, can't be done. And because they doubted that, they missed the direct path. An 11-day trip became a 40-year trial. When was the last time you let doubt misdirect your path? I've taken enough doubt detours. I admit it. I'm ready to lean into that direct route, though. I'm done with the detours. I'm done with wandering around in the desert. So I'm sharing 5 ways we can stop the detour tour. The first thing is we listen to the Navigator. The second is to know the destination. The third is to seek out reliable guidance. The fourth is to check your coordinates. And the fifth is to recognize the pivot versus the doubt detour, because there is a difference. If you're going to avoid the detours, the doubt detours, then you better listen to your Navigator. In this case, our journey is directed by God, but I was on a family trip and I had the map. If you have the map, you're the Navigator. And I had the map opened and was directing my husband to the location. Well, at some point in time, I said something wrong, or I did something wrong, or I just was wrong because he stopped listening to me. And I'm certain that he's the only husband that has ever stopped listening to the directions of his wife. But because he wasn't listening, he missed the turn. Because he missed the turn, we had to go another 30 miles before we could get to a turnaround point and make our way back to the right turn. He didn't listen to the Navigator, and it caused a detour. Full disclosure, I knew he was missing the turn. I could have told him he was missing the turn, but I was just as mad at him as he was at me. So, because of my stubbornness and because of his lack of attention, we missed the turn. He had decided that he did not want to hear my directions. He did not want my navigational directions. So I let him miss the turn. And I can't help but wonder if that's how God deals with us sometimes. He gives us the directions. We tell him how we know better. And so he just lets us miss the turn. At least my husband knew where he wanted to go. I mean, he had the destination in place. He knew where we were going. But when it comes to life, this life journey that we're on, God is the only one that really knows the destination. He knows the place where he wants us to go. He knows the path that he has created for us. He knows the steps that we need to take to get there. But we have to know him to recognize his destination. And the more that we know him and the more we understand his direction for our lives, the more we can hear those navigational directions that he's offering us. And maybe, just maybe, we're more willing to accept those directions. But sometimes, even knowing him and knowing the destination, it's just not enough. Sometimes we need help. Well, let's be honest. We always need help. We are designed to be in relationship. We are designed to go with others on this journey. We are designed to go together. That's why we do more when we go with a friend. You know, a friend is there to help you up. A friend is there to help encourage you. So sometimes we need that encouragement or that nudging guidance from others that are also all in with God, because that's key. We need people that are all in with God. We need people that can hear his whispers even when we struggle. We need people who believe in his promises more than they believe in the yes buts of the world. Who do you have joining you on your trip? If you're a fan of the Lord of the Rings series, you know how Bilbo had to go on a trip with companions he didn't know. And he had to trust Gandalf to give him the right companions, the ones that he needed. But Frodo had 3 childhood friends with him, and one in particular became the support and encouragement he needed to make it to his destination. Sometimes you choose your companions. Sometimes God brings them into your life, but always, always, always find people, surround yourself with people that will keep you on the right path and not to get you distracted into these detours of doubt. Have you ever shared a direction from God only to have someone offer up that yes, but? Yes, but we got to live in the world. Yes, but you got to get a real job. I get that one a lot. Or, are you sure? Sometimes it's a yes, but detour. Sometimes it's a are you sure detour. I've shared how I listened to the are you sure detours for years. And it's only been in the last few months that I've gained the traction again that has helped me to put on those detour blinders. So even when the distractions come up, even when the situations come up, I'm not tempted. I'm always tempted. But those detour blinders keep me from even seeing them. So instead of being tempted down these detour tours, I'm just being intentional in what I'm doing. And I'm being specific in my path. And I am being focused. If you can't see the detours, you can't take them. So having these detour blinders up because of the people around me, I'm beginning to shift my focus back to my unique design and my unique path. And of course, always love, love, love it. Right, Laura? When I feel like I'm in the weeds, or I'm getting distracted, or I'm chasing squirrels, I stop and I check the map. I confirm that I am on the right path. You remember maps, right? You would unfold them and actually look at them and see where you were going. Now you get Google, who likes to send you through somebody's driveway, but you have to check the map. And if you look at the map, then you can know, am I on the right path? When I confirm I'm on the right path, I'm able to push past the detours. When I stop the car and I look at the map and I say, okay, do I go left or do I go right here? Then I get the correct answer instead of like I did when I was 15 and they made me drive home from Dothan. When we get to this intersection with 1,600,000 different choices and I say which way, and every single one of them gave me a different direction, that was not helpful. So we want people around us that understand our unique design and are all in with God and can help us walk the path that is going to move us closer to where we are supposed to be going, that doesn't lead us down another detour. And for the record, if we learned anything from Pa Bear, from the Bernstein Bears, it's that the shortcut can be the detour. The direct path is the direct path for a reason. Not always because it's the shortest path. Remember, the 11-day path that God took the children of Israel on wasn't the shortest path. The shortest path would have taken them through some of the armed nations, and God knew that they weren't ready for that. So he took them a better way. But even then, they still didn't listen. That's why we have to trust his navigation and keep checking our coordinates with him to make sure that we're aligned with his unique design for our life. And finally, recognize this. A pivot and a doubt detour are not the same thing. Life is going to happen, and you cannot always stop the neighbor from knocking at the door just as you're about to end the recording, which requires you to have to start all over again. You can't always keep the traffic running smoothly so that you arrive to the meeting on time, even if you left with plenty of time to get there. You can only control what you can control. You can only do what you can do. And when life throws something at you that's unexpected, you may have to pivot. Just remember that as long as you follow the steps above, so that your pivot doesn't become a doubt detour, you'll stay on path to your unique design. You'll stay on target with what God wants you to be, with what God is driving you towards. You'll stay on focus with your unique purpose and design. What are those things that you need to do? Well, you need to have listen to the Navigator. You need to know the destination. You need to check your coordinates, and you need to just keep going because I can't find them. Oh, thank you so much for joining me for today's Growing Hope. If you want to know those 5 points, they're back at the beginning, and I will share them on social media. Remember, you're uniquely designed on purpose and for a purpose. Stay in that purpose. And until next time, be blessed and be a blessing.
Thank you for joining us for Growing Hope with Kathryn Lang, where we are sharing hope, encouragement, and inspiration to do more. Visit www.kathrynlang.com to invite Kathryn to be part of your event or to share your own stories of possibility living. Until next time, remember that a seed of hope planted and nurtured will grow up into a world of possibilities.